Hello, this is going to be a quick demo and tutorial on how to utilize LangChain to create custom tools and functions with multi-input arguments so that an LLM can utilize these tools when conversing with the user. To start off with a demo of the conversation, here you can see I'm just initializing a chat object that I'll be showing you in a little bit with the temperature of 0.2 so that the outputs are more consistent. Then I am saying hi to the LLM, and as you can see, it responds normally in a normal conversation and asks, hello, how can I assist you today? Then I asked it to calculate the total cost, and this is the custom function that I made that I'll be showing you in a little bit. And I provide it with a list of groceries and the quantity and cost per grocery. And you can see 3 apples, $1.30 per apple, 5 sweet onions, around 0.79, and a gallon of milk, around 4.50. And you can see here that the LLM successfully grabs all of the data from the user, and keep in mind this is multi-input data, and it returns a total cost of 12.35 successfully. Then we ask the chat, just to show you that memory is persistent, I ask it, how many sweet onions do I have? And it responds with 5 successfully. Now moving on to the code, this is the chat class, and I'm using OpenAI here, but you can utilize any LLM of your choosing, which is the big pro of utilizing LangChain. And I have a custom tools list, which is basically just a list of callables. And to show you what the tool looks like, it's really easy to create a tool using LangChain, and all you have to do is utilize their tool decorator to transform a function into a tool. All that you need is you need to have a doc string of the description of the tool, and then you have to have a return statement that describes the output that you got from the tool. And then you can see, if you notice, there is a arg schema parameter for the tool decorator, and that essentially describes the inputs, the arguments to the LLM. So if you look at my schemas file, I am essentially using Pydantic here to describe the field of what groceries are. And you can see for each grocery item, we will have a quantity and a price. And I also have some validation for the LLM saying that this quantity needs to be a number greater than 0, and the price needs to be a number that's greater than or equal to 0. Even though I have that validation there, sometimes the LLM will allow things to slip through. So I have my own validator class to validate the inputs. It's just more of like a sanity check. And you can see here, it's like, get the quantity, and if the quantity is less than or equal to 0, then error out. Here is the actual calculation, pretty straightforward, and then I return the total cost. Now moving on to the prompt section, this allows us to kind of change up the prompt and fine-tune the prompt to make sure that the LLM utilizes our multi-inputs correctly. So for the template, I essentially copied and pasted exactly from LangChain's documentation of what a system prompt should look like, as well as a user prompt, a human prompt. And for the system prompt, I pretty much kept it exactly the same, except I added these 2 lines of code. And as you play around with structured chat agents, and you'll get to a point where some things will have flaws and it won't properly utilize the tools, or maybe it won't use the previous chat history for the current tool, or it might hallucinate and come up with random values. So you have to kind of fine tune this prompt to ensure that those situations don't happen. And especially with more complex scenarios and more complex tools, it just might be harder in general to get to that point. Then this is how you initialize memory. I'm using LangChain's conversation buffer memory in this case. And you simply just pass it into the agent executor. And then the agent that I'm using is a structured chat agent. I mentioned it before. And basically, LangChain's structured chat agent are meant for multi-input tools. But keep in mind, they are zero-shot agents, meaning they're not meant for giving it a couple of scenarios and passing it in through context, because with too much context and too much information, the agent might not be able to respond and utilize tools as expected. Here is the run method. It just invokes to the agent executor the user input as well as the chat history. And you can see I'm using a buffer as a string for the memory. But yeah, that is pretty much the demo and tutorial. I'll have a link for the GitHub repo in the description. But I hope you found that helpful. Thank you.